Food Dude and Friends is brought to you by Visit OKC, inviting you to experience the energy, excitement, and welcoming spirit of Oklahoma City. Learn more at visitokc.com. Hey boys, time for Pizza Bout again.
All right.
Last time we were here, we discussed potentially talking about some statewide pies. All right? Some pies, like Salmonella's, for instance, in Tahlequah, the kind of place named after a foodborne disease with the chicken motif.
As you do.
As you do, that serves pizza. And an idea like that is either miserable or genius. And in this case, it's turned out to be genius because the place, I don't know exactly how old it is, but I think it's more than 30. Maybe more than 40.
Been around forever.
And you've been.
Yep.
You have not.
I have not. I've not heard of it.
Yeah, Salmonella's. That's green country, isn't it?
It is green country.
I mean, come on, green country, where are we at?
Sorry, but Salmonella's,
You see that name, you're running
with a name like that,
call
it's
me
got to be
crazy,
good.
but I'm not going there.
I feel it's going to go, like you said, very well or very poorly.
Very bad. And it is a good pizza. It's good. It's not like I was told when I went many, many years ago, it's the greatest pizza that's ever happened in Oklahoma. Maybe at that time it was, but...
I'm sure at some point it was.
At some point it probably was. At some point that's how old it is. But we digress into Salmonella's because that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about some other places. You guys are the pizza travelers. That's the one pizza place around the state. Outside, hey, maybe we should start here. Jared, don't you dare say no to this. The OG Stillwater location of Hideaway Pizza.
Ooh.
Have you ever been?
I have.
Okay, so now we're not talking about the chain. We're not talking about Hideaway 2.
Very different.
That's right. Now, Rob, before we get into it, you used to work for Hideaway 2. Please explain briefly the difference between Hideaway 1 and Hideaway 2.
Okay. The primary difference, I think, is the ovens that they cook in.
Mm-hmm.
Stillwater Hideaway uses like a traditional deck oven. Mm-hmm. The new Hideaways do have a different style of oven that allows them to do a higher volume of pizza quicker.
They're the chain.
And it's super consistent at the new Hideaways, and there are people that prefer
the OG.
Both.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dead set on the Stillwater pizza is better.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
You don't agree. Okay. Now, and also different ownership. Yeah. That's the big difference is completely different ownership. The Dermer family, they didn't exactly found Hideaway, but they did start it in their own way, which we won't get into because it's kind of convoluted. But it is theirs. And then when the new group of guys who had actually, I believe, didn't they work for the Dermers?
Yeah, they did. College? They were a guy named Bob and B-Mac, and another guy whose name that I can't recall is the guy that created Pente.
Pente, yes. He had the money.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. And the three of them asked if they could open up their own Hideaway, and they opened up on Cherry Street in Tulsa.
Yes, that was the first one. And as I recall, didn't they wanted Richard to partner with them initially? They wanted to be partners with him, and he's, no. We'll just take a little money and y'all go do your thing.
Well, I never had the privilege of meeting Richard Dermer. Yeah. I did meet his wife, and she's a delightful person.
Yeah.
But the stories that I'd heard about him and the original Hideaway, and all the people there were. I worked with some guys that worked at the original Hideaway back in the crazy days when they had Volkswagen, the largest fleet of Volkswagens in the world, and a German mechanic that was keeping it up, and Volkswagens are bursting into flames as they're delivering around town, and the crazy hippies out there, and so they've got that X factor,
for sure,
to the millionth degree, but. Yeah, so these guys opened up on Cherry Street, and they were just booming from day one. And that Hideaway has gone through its peaks and valleys, and now they're just dominating. They just opened up a couple of restaurants in Texas. They're in Arkansas now, and they're becoming a sort of a regional powerhouse that I always knew that they were going to be.
Yeah, and if we have a baseline pizza in Oklahoma, I think it's got to be Hideaway.
Hideaway's the best chain pizza in Oklahoma.
Because it is a chain, it's a pizza all over Oklahoma that most of Oklahoma can try and decide for themselves.
Yeah. And I would say that, when did Hideaway was first founded? Educate me. When was it? When did Hideaway
like
first
the 60s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
Late
57.
So when did it start to move? Because whenever I first moved to Oklahoma, Mazio's was the
Yes,
big chain.
that's right. That's right.
Right.
And-
Especially in the Tulsa side.
In the Tulsa side, and
Yeah.
so now Hideaways is
That's right.
definitely in Tulsa and even in Bartlesville, and so I would absolutely say that Hideaways for the quality is the baseline without a doubt. That-
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
came to you guys in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was that Cherry Street store was the 90s, as I recall.
Yeah, it was late
95,
80s
6,
or early
somewhere there.
90s. I'm not sure really.
I was working in Norman at the time, and they opened the second or third one in Norman.
Yeah.
And the reason I remember, I was working there, but before they opened the Norman store, they'd opened Cherry Street, and I want to say the one up on in Oklahoma City, but they had a pie that I really loved called the Big Country. And this was Bryant Reeves, who played in the 90s, and it was named after Bryant Reeves, the basketball player, and it had all this meat on it. But when it came to Norman, it was not called the Big Country. It was called the Sooner Schooner.
The Schooner. Yeah, and super popular still
Super
to this
popular
day.
pie, and I don't think the Big Country. I don't know if it still exists. I think.
Oh, it exists.
Does it? Okay.
Oh
okay.
yeah, and even any of those favorite pizzas from over the
Yeah.
years that
Yeah.
drop off of the menu.
Yeah.
You can still get them. It's the
Right.
kitchen have a secret menu.
Gotcha.
Of every pizza they've ever made.
Well, good to know. What a fountain of information you have turned into. Good news, Hideaway. You invested well with this one.
I love Hideaway.
That's
I
right.
could talk Hideaway all day.
So Jared, what's your impressions on Stillwater?
So my impression of the Stillwater is
Yeah.
I personally like the Stillwater pizza a little bit better. I like the cook on it.
Yeah.
I do like Hideaway Pizza quite a bit. I'm going to go there. I'm willing. They don't deliver, and I found out the reason why they don't deliver because they want the pizza intended for straight out of the oven, and I appreciate and respect that. But when Hideaway came to Bartlesville, what I really appreciated is, we have Papa John's, you have Mazio's. I'm willing to actually, if I want pizza, I'm going to go to Hideaway.
Yeah.
That is by far, hands down, the best that Bartlesville has, and it's really a great pizza. But I want to ask you something.
Oh.
Because, like I said, like we were sort of talking about, Mazio's took over. Mazio's for me was the original. I thought that was the Oklahoma chain, but it's really Hideaway. Hideaway Ranch or Mazio's Ranch?
Hot take. Mazio's Ranch. I love Hideaway Ranch.
It's good. I love Hideaway Ranch too.
And when Hideaway for a little while there, we're doing. You could get a flight of ranches.
Ooh.
And they had,
I remember that.
I
I remember the
didn't
ranch
know that.
flight.
Genius, absolute genius. For me, I was like all in on that.
That's all. If that's not Oklahoma pizza, I don't know what is.
Blind taste testing of that. What's the best ranch at Hideaway by itself would be a thing, but there's something about the Mazio's Ranch that I can't get over. In fact, I still order Mazio's. I get Mazio's the thin crust Ken's delivered fairly regularly still.
Okay.
Just so that I can have that ranch.
I was going to bring up Ken's Pizza because you're right. Mazio's, before Hideaway went statewide in the 90s, Mazio's was the only one, the local one, that was doing that. But what's interesting is Ken's actually came before Mazio's. Were they the same company, or did one buy the other?
I think that it was like and I could be absolutely wrong here, but I think it was a husband-wife thing.
Okay. When
and-
I very first moved to Oklahoma, Ken's Pizza was still around. They were really small, little, just like smaller than Pizza Hut type places,
Okay.
And the pizza was really good. And I do remember when Mazio's brought the Ken's Pizza back to Mazio's.
Oh, yeah.
They brought me back.
Yeah, and me too.
Yeah, because I didn't really care for their daily buffet pie, because I'm the one who is you got to bring it if I'm going to do pizza. Otherwise, I'm going to get tacos.
Well, I'm kind of the opposite. People like to
Exactly,
think
you
that I'm a
are.
pizza snob, and I am furthest thing
No,
from
yeah,
a
you'll eat
pizza
bad
snob.
pizza. I'll eat bad tacos
I love
all
bad
day.
pizza.
I'll eat bad tacos all day.
Give me Totino's pizza rolls.
I won't eat that stuff.
Boom.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
for me.
Give me a Jack's.
He's
Shout
got
out,
it dirty.
shout out Patrick Riley for introducing me to the Jack's frozen pizza.
Okay, so here's the deal. I will absolutely eat a DiGiorno pizza
Okay.
after I've gone to Mazio's to get the ranch. And so
Good to meet you, sir.
I gotta ask you this, just because ranch is a cult thing, and it's definitely pizza here. What does Mazio's Ranch not go with?
Ice cream?
Are you sure?
No, I haven't tried
Have you
it.
tested that?
I was at a Pizza Hut years ago, and I remember watching someone pull a tub of Mazio's Ranch out, and they just started dipping the Pizza Hut pizza into the Mazio's Ranch. And
Put in the good stuff.
And I kid you not, there was something, I worked for public education in Bartlesville. Someone brought Mazio's Ranch to the teacher lounge, and they dipped their Snickers bar in it.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I tried it. It's not as horrid as you think, just because
that sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible, but Mazio's Ranch, salty,
Ranch for the win.
unctuous, fatty with that chocolate.
I could see it being good though too. Like literally, there's nothing like better than.
Isn't that a good ranch's job? Is it good with everything?
It's Oklahoma ketchup, is it not?
I really, it's one of those things where you dip it and you're just disgusted with yourself, and you eat it and you're just like, how is this working?
Good? I'm going to have another bite.
How is this working? No, I didn't do it again, but still, it was not as bad as it sounds.
That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, take us around the state, though, guys. I gave you a cherry-picked a nice one for you. Hideaway and Mazio's. Everybody knows about that. Rob, you have had pizza in every county in this state.
Indeed, every county that has pizza.
Every pizza-bearing county in Oklahoma has served you pizza.
Yeah, during COVID, I had the chance to do some traveling, and so it was absolutely my obsession to try every pizza in Oklahoma that's not a chain. And I got pretty close. I got to most of the counties, and luckily not every county has pizza that's not a chain, so it's sort of a reprieve.
So you had a few get out of jail free cards, yeah.
And there's a lot of good pizza in Oklahoma. There's a lot of mom and pop shops around the state where people have come in. Ada's got an awesome pizza place. I can't think of the name right now, or did. I'm not sure how they're doing.
Right. We know how that goes.
But it was a delightful pizza. I just had 10-star in Ardmore. But one pizza that I feel like everybody's got to try is Papa Angelo's in Bethany.
Yeah. It's a great pizza.
A phenomenal pizza. My dad loves it because they have green olives on the ingredients list. Weirdly, not everybody has green olives.
That's true, yeah.
So it's kind of hard to find. So when you do find it, you got to have a pepperoni with green olives pizza.
Yeah, that's a great.
It's very Ohio. It's very.
Is that what it is?
I got to believe that's an Ohio thing. My dad eats weird stuff.
And Papa Angelo's, I know that one well. That's a big New York style. I think the big one's called the Empire slice, because you can't get it in your car.
Yeah, and just their straight up cheese slice is money. It's
for my money,
amazing.
The garlic knots. I used to live within about 20 minutes of there, so the drive home was the finishing of the garlic knots before I got home.
The finishing of. That sounds so
kids,
ceremonial.
Garlic knots are gone. Oh, did I leave the garlic knots back at the restaurant? Oh man, here's a pizza. Because for me, good garlic knots, it's like seriously, if they're really good, and to me that's Papa Angelo's. They have fantastic garlic knots.
I also love Empire Slice House's garlic knots. I love Empire Slice House too. I feel like
they're
that's
statewide now,
and they're becoming a powerhouse statewide.
They're
statewide. And legitimately, they're a good pie.
Have you been over to Empire in Tulsa?
I have. I like it. Yeah. It's a very good pizza. I have to try it again. It's just I've only been once.
Yeah, to me, it's not the kind of pie that's going to change your life or anything like that.
By no means.
But it's a really. We don't have a ton of by the slice. I mean, that's kind of our weakness in Oklahoma. Tulsa may be a little bit better on that, but Oklahoma City, we just don't have a lot of by the slice options.
Yeah.
And Empire, all of them have that option. So that's what I like about it, is wherever you see one, it's like, oh, I can get a slice.
I do want to ask, since you've been all around for it, have you had any pizza that's coal oven?
That's what?
Coal oven pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's Russo's, I think, in Tulsa.
I have not been to Russo's.
And I really like Russo's. I love coal-fired pizza. It's like, it gets that, the black char bubbles on the crust that I love.
Yeah.
That's sort of why I love the Neapolitan style, too.
Yeah.
I think Russo's is the only coal-fired pizza I've had in Oklahoma. Is there another?
Yeah, Pryor's Pizza in Norman. It's over by Riverwind Casino. They do that Amethyst coal pizza. So...
Gimme.
Shout out Dennis Spielman with it.
Spielman in the house.
Now, do you prefer traditional oven, brick, wood fire, or coal?
I think coal, probably number one. And
Really?
that was sort of like that.
Pizzeria Gusto was initially going to be coal-fired pizza.
Oh, really?
It was the original plan was going to be called cold pizza.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I would have been down for that too.
I know. Shout out, come on, Sean Fiacconi.
Cold
You're out
pizza.
there.
One of my favorite pizzas in the world is Frank Pepe's in New Haven.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's technically considered a coal-fired pizza, but their huge ovens is like I mean, to me that would be probably a coal-fired New Haven style pizza.
Very cool.
I love it. Where were you going to suggest for coal?
I don't. I'm trying to look for one. I didn't
you're
realize.
trying to find it.
Right in your backyard.
Well, right in my backyard because I love New York pizza, and a lot of them are coal. And
Listen,
like
I've been telling pizza, if you want to know pizza, talk to Rob.
I'm talking to Rob.
And it's like, this is the guy.
I could lead you astray though. I'm a guy that's going to send you to a Red Baron.
He likes it all.
He does. Is Chicago deep dish pizza?
I love Chicago deep dish. Oklahoma City is lacking that now.
But is it pizza?
Is it pizza?
Is it pizza?
Of course it is, but
It's pizza, but it's more of a lasagna.
yeah, lasagna on bread.
I call it a pizza.
Yeah,
All right.
but I mean, like if you go to Chicago and you go to one of the originals and you get it,
Yeah.
you understand, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could eat this once or twice every couple of years, because it's good, but it's a lot and it takes forever. It's very inconvenient. You don't want a whole lot of toppings on it.
No.
The best ones I've had have like a couple of sausage or a couple of, because the bread and the sauce is just so good. So you just kind of leave it at that. But yeah, here in the state, Savastano's is kind of the big one. Bira we've been to, it was,
The sauce is awesome at
sauce was
Bira
great, but it was not like, it's not like, oh, you got to hurry and go get that.
It wasn't like the Heat Humble Pie.
No.
That was
That
awesome.
was fantastic.
And something interesting about Chicago, because you tipped me off on that. I was just in there in June. Ask Chicagoans where to get pizza. They're not going to tell you deep dish.
No.
They're going to tell you the thin crust.
the
Yeah,
thick
that's
crust is
Rendezvous
top
Pizza,
five. Yeah, Rendezvous Pizza downtown. Yeah.
Rendezvous, we haven't talked about Rendezvous. That's a dynamite pizza too.
That is, like if you want a legit thin crust Chicago pizza,
Or Detroit style.
yeah, all of their pizzas are really good. But like that's the one to me that is just so unique.
So I think that's the only place now where you can get three styles.
Yeah, they have 3 styles of pizza there, and they're all really good.
So good. And those the pizza, like what were they? The
little
like cinnamon roll kind of
the pepperoni things. And I even like for X Factor, they've got a cheeseburger, what they call it, a chopped cheese. So it's a cheeseburger that's chopped and it's served on a hoagie roll, and it's in the cheese. So that it's all chopped up and the cheese is blended in with the meat. Oh man, that's terrific.
And Rendezvous's got great salads too, which I'm becoming a fan of now. I used to say salad is for suckers. That's it's just wasted space that could be occupied by a delicious pepperoni slice. And I've changed my tune.
Have you taken Mazzio's Ranch to your salad?
And it all comes back to Mazzio's
no, I
Ranch.
haven't done that. I've never had a salad from Mazzio's before. Ever.
He's not putting it on salad.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But I should.
You don't need to go to Mazzio's for the salad. You just need to grab the ranch and bring it everywhere.
And run.
Why don't they serve Mazzio's Ranch at the grocery store?
That's a great
That
question.
is a great question.
Mazzio's, get on that.
Oh, it would sell out like hotcakes. I guarantee you, in Oklahoma, that will Hidden Valley will.
Yeah, they're over.
100%. Either Mazzio's or Hideaway got to get on the horn and
done.
like get that done so we can have that.
Jared,
Yeah.
in your travels, have you come across any pie that you think people ought to know about?
Oh, you know what? Years ago in New York, and I cannot remember the place. It was a little hole-in-the-wall coal. It was midnight. I walked in there. The slice was about that big.
Yeah.
When you picked it up, it didn't go.
Yeah,
It
right.
was
Yeah.
firm. You folded it.
Fold it.
The cheese was good.
You got a good baseline there.
Oh, that is sort of when I think of New York pizza, that was what the memory dredges up.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything quite like it, but
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a place that Dave Fortney would like.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Like I was in Tulsa earlier this year, and Andolini's does by the slice out the door late at night. And the reality, I don't think we have a ton of places in the state that do that.
we
that
don't.
actually do that. I grew up down in Austin, and down on 6th Street, there was always a slice place late night. But here, because I don't think Empire's open late or anything like that, but Andolini's, and they're an old school, established place, solid. Like Andolini's the kind of place I think it's almost like you take it for granted. You know?
It is, and Andolini's for me has personally been a little hit or miss depending on it. I didn't feel it has the consistency that Hideaway does. That's just been
I could see that.
my point with it. When I see Andolini Slice and just the pizzerias, I usually see them in a food truck close to Kane's
Yeah,
Ballroom.
yeah.
Because, and that's something you mentioned, if you go to New York or Chicago, you're going to have those places that are open midnight because they have the population that's open.
That's right.
Even when I go to Tulsa at midnight, even downtown,
Yeah.
unless it's a bar or Kane's Ballroom or something big, I don't see it. So I'm wondering, maybe that's probably a reason why there's not some more slice places.
I think it has everything to do with it. And also where we are. This is not a part of the country where people grew up with pizza by the slice.
Yeah.
In New York, my goodness, you're going to have people are being born into that. And here it's more of it has to be taught.
Yes.
And so, I think that 84 Hospitality is doing a fine job of trying to teach everybody.
Yeah. I honestly believe that Empire Slice House changed the pizza game in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. For me, definitely. It's like everybody started then raising the bar. And so like now it's like there's so many good pizza places out there now. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, they showed everybody how to be cool with it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to something we were talking about a minute ago, in my opinion. You talked about this, Jared, that at one point Mazzio's / Ken's was the pizza that Oklahoma was known for. And I think it's fair to say that you would probably place Mazzio's up against Pizza Hut, like the kind of pie that you're going to get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately, I guess I would call it almost like a fast food pizza, like a quick service pizza, whereas Hideaway kind of bridged that gap of affordable family pizza that is
upscale dining
just
environment, family.
Up from there, and the Empire kind of follows in that line, where it's a cool environment, but the pizza's pretty simple. It's not like super fabulous gourmet monster gonna change your life pizza.
But it's solid.
It's really solid, really good, just like Hideaway, and it's gonna deliver. It's gonna be consistent.
You can have a cheese slice at Empire Slice House and love it. That's like, for me, that's the baseline.
What I appreciate about Hideaway, Empire Slice, when I went, and some of the others that we talk about, one thing I've noticed with Mazzio's is the tomato sauce and Pizza Hut's tomato sauce. It is sweet.
Yeah.
It is very sweet. Yeah. It's got that.
It's going to play to that broader.
Yes,
palate.
And whereas as Empire Slice and Hideaway, they've got that more tangy, rounded sauce. Yeah. The cheese does not taste like the commercialized cheese. It's that extra level of freshness that Hideaway brings. Yeah. That is lost on the change, but it's understandable because of the production.
And I feel like Empire's kind of picked up on that aspect.
Yes.
And said, let's do that, and maybe even a little more. Yeah. A little more exclusive, because Hideaway, they got so many ingredients that it's like I can't imagine what their walk-in must look like.
Oh man, it's crazy. Hideaway loves its toppings, and
they are top. That's
the meats.
Their thing.
They've got like Arby's thinks it's got the meats. It does not.
So I had this recent conversation with Chef Tack at Lo-Fi just because I love cured meats. Why is it we don't see more designer pepperoni?
That's a great question.
I would imagine some dry-aged, funky pepperoni that is really intense and rich in flavor, but I don't see that. I've seen it in Chicago, I've seen it in San Francisco, but I really haven't seen it. And I understand it's probably because of bottom line. It probably costs a lot of money to do that.
Well, there's different styles of pepperoni, too.
Do you know who's doing it? Yeah. Saucy Sicilian is doing it.
Doing some
he started bringing in like the cool upper end pepperoni for the food truck.
Okay.
At the beginning, and so Gannon understands the pepperoni differences.
Fancy pepperoni, we like your style.
Yeah, but more people need to start doing that. I think it's got to be just a sourcing issue. Yeah. Like, how do you consistently have that top end pepperoni and make money doing it?
Not every pepperoni is made for pizza. It's a cold cut first, and so just because it says pepperoni doesn't mean it's going to work.
And sopressata is not
right. It's
not pepperoni.
It's a higher end version. Of
I can't get all passionate about that.
So I didn't. Was that is that
sopressata?
I know. Well, I know what it is. Is that a debate that it is?
Yeah. Well, it's like Pizzeria Gusto. Their fancy pepperoni. They put sopressata on it. Because they are cousins, but they're not exactly the same.
When Gusto opened,
prosciutto and what's it called? Prosciutto and
bacon.
Well, I was thinking, or speck and bacon,
Exactly. It's all that same thing. Yeah, and when you see sopressata, it's like, okay, I can kind of see how you landed at that.
Serrano ham, that's what
Serrano, Serrano's another one,
When Gusto opened, originally they did not offer a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
It was a sopressata pizza, and I was so upset. I didn't go back there for months after that. I was just like,
oh my goodness,
screw you, Pizzeria Gusto.
When you get Rob Crissinger mad at you, and you're a pizza place, you have done something. Catherine, I know you have fixed that. I know she has fixed that.
Oh, definitely. I love their pizza now.
I've never heard of that because when I'm picturing the last couple of bites of pepperoni I've had and the last couple of bites of sopressata that I've had.
Yeah.
To me, they don't taste the same.
No,
They don't.
That's why I was all upset.
They look similar,
Sure.
and they're both high in fat.
Yes.
And they will both crisp up and do delicious things under.
But even when they're crisp, they don't taste the same.
And that's the end of it. And while we're getting me all upset
Yeah.
right now, one thing that I think that most every pizza place in Oklahoma or maybe anywhere does not get right is the desserts. And off camera, you asked me about dessert pizza.
Yeah.
Pisses me off dessert pizza.
Oh.
So
You get visibly angry about. Tell me, like, what, Jared here has a background in psychology. Let's work. Let's.
yeah, let's get it. Let's dig into Robbie C. Okay, so it's pretty simple for me. I eat a lot of pizza,
Yeah.
and so that's why salads were off the thing for me for a long time, and I've reluctantly brought them back. Now I'm enjoying them. Shout out Tracy Zeke again. Hashtag salad chat. But like. I would eat a bunch of pizza, and then you kind of want something dessert-wise. And every pizza place has like these like fat cookies and like the dessert pizza and like heavy stuff, right? And it's like you don't want heavy stuff, so you have to take your dessert home and then have it later.
Okay.
And that really upsets me. I want somebody to give me something light. Hideaway Pizza is the only one that really has something that like has resonated with me. They do this frozen lemonade pie that's super light. The Bouthillons or
the La Baguette.
La Baguette makes this, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to have like
Another
cannoli,
crusty thingy or easy on cannolis.
Wait a second. Here.
Take the cannoli.
Come on, lay
Leave
off the
gun.
cannoli.
Take the cannoli.
Is your
Come on.
objection to dessert? Is your objection to dessert pizza cannoli?
That's the yeah. That's,
I mean, I can't help the problem you have with cannolis. That's something you and your therapist are going to have to work through, and clearly need to. If you don't have a therapist and you don't like cannolis, you need to get a therapist to like cannolis.
I'll bring it up.
So is it the objection of a dessert? When I think of dessert pizza, when you talk about what the Hideaway has, to me that's just a dessert that's at a pizza place. Dessert pizza.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on let's take this pizza crust, let's pour in some brownie batter, some cookie batter, and let's put some ice cream and then some Hershey's chocolate over it. Is that not pizza?
Man.
or is it a big cookie?
Okay, so now
is that a big cookie or is that a pizza?
Okay, so like
There
if
are
you're
pies. Pizza is a pie. I mean, that's a dessert right there.
True statement. But if you're gonna pour brownies into a pizza dough, just give me brownies. If you're gonna put don't mess with my pizza. I think is where I'm headed with that. And, I'm definitely not just gonna sit down and have like an Oreo pizza, dessert pizza ever. If I want Oreos, I'm gonna have some Oreos. If I want pizza, I'm gonna have some pizza. Combining the two just feels like wasted, like gross, like too much.
Why couldn't we just do like maybe we take the pizza dough and we add some cinnamon, sugar, and nuts to it, maybe some caramel, and then roll it up like a
cinnamon roll? Then just give me a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, a cinnamon roll.
He makes a good
flatten it out.
He makes a good point.
And then add some brownie batter.
Okay, you're sort of swaying me now with once you flattened it out.
And then when you're all done, you dip it in Mazzio's ranch.
Of course.
With a Snickers.
It all comes back
With a Snickers.
Yes. Hey, I will say this, and this speaks to what you're talking about, dessert pie, upper crust. Upper crust pizza here in Oklahoma. It's a Hal Smith restaurant. I actually am not a big fan of their regular pizza. I love some other stuff they have, and so I go there. But they do what they call cookie pie. Mm-hmm. And it is served in a small deep dish pan, and half of it is chocolate chip cookie batter, and the other side is white chocolate and macadamia nut, and then there's ice cream on top and ribbons of chocolate and caramel.
All right, that doesn't sound awful.
And it comes hot out of the oven, so it is hot, gooey chocolate chip cookie you can eat with a spoon.
If we want to get really creative with it, you could just do a little personal pie, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe put some custard on top.
There you go.
Some sugar, brulee the sugar.
There you go.
You guys are kind of swaying me. I don't know.
You are so weak.
I know.
weak.
I just, but what I'm thinking of when I think of the dessert pizzas, I'm thinking of like the buffet at Mazzio's or Pizza Hut or CC's or whatever, and it's that crappy Oreo. It's not Oreo enough,
Crush
or it's
up
not
Oreos
brownie enough, it's not pizza enough. It's kind of just like
somewhere in between.
This weird amalgamation of gross that's just taking up valuable stomach real estate, Dave.
That's pie you can't eat.
No, it's hurting your feelings.
No, I mean, I hurt my feelings because I'm just thinking of how horrible that tastes. That's why I dip it in Mazzio's ranch.
Fixes everything.
Anything in Mazzio's ranch.
What we've learned today is a lot, but Mazzio's ranch fixes everything. And if that's all we come away with today, then I think we've done a great job.
We've done a public service.
So guys, thanks for dropping by and talking all about the pizza.
So much fun. Thanks, guys.
The Food Dude and Friends is produced in partnership with KOSU Radio. Food Dude and Friends is brought to you by Visit OKC, inviting you to experience the energy, excitement, and welcoming spirit of Oklahoma City. Learn more at visitokc.com.